Hi, I'm Nicole Shin, current freshman at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University, and I'm here today with KVUE ABC's investigative reporter, Erica Proffer. Thank you for joining me today, Erica.
Thank you so much for having me.
I just wanted to ask you a few questions, pick your brain a little bit about investigative journalism and specifically women. So my first question for you is, why did you decide to get into journalism?
So for me, it's not something that you probably like to say, but I got into journalism because I like to tell stories and I liked being on TV. And that's not what somebody wants to admit, but that is the reason why. It's not what kept me here, because that luster will lose it, or it'll lose its luster very quickly. But it is what got me in, and I'd have to say it was mostly ego with a lot of just wanting to tell stories and entertain an audience.
Well, from the whole, wanting to be in journalism and being on TV and stuff, what made you specifically want to go into investigative reporting?
So my first job was in Southeast Alabama, and it was right where I grew up. I was a hometown girl, and it was fun. I worked up through that station fairly quickly, became morning and noon anchor, and then there was a specific time that there was a hurricane that was coming to the coast, and I remember sitting in the morning editorial meeting, and the news director asks, who wants to go to the coast? And no one raised their hand. Of course I did. And she says, put your hand down, Erica. I know you want to go out there. You need to be here on the desk. It's going to hit in the morning. And that was when I realized I still want to be out in the field. Anchoring's fun and anchoring's great, but for me, I really enjoyed being out and about, meeting people, talking to people, and that's what helped me solidify that.
So, what is the most, I wouldn't say favorite, but the most personal or inspiring story that you've ever been able to cover in your career so far?
I would say it would be a particular genre,
okay,
rather than a particular story.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. But the genre would be the stories in which people reach out and say, I need help. XYZ happened to me and I don't know where to go. I've filed a police report, or I've filed, this complaint and I'm not getting any answers. Can you help me? And when we are able to go out there and see what happened, mm-hmm. and help make it right. And making it right might be holding the government accountable, might be holding the powerful accountable, or it might just be a call to action to the community. And when we're able to help someone, those are the stories that I like the best. I was in Dothan, and it was my first taste of what journalism could do. And I was running a bureau. And as a bureau reporter, I had to run around these counties to get stories. And a person stopped me and they said, I really need your help. I really need your help. My foreign student, her purse was stolen. Oh my God. Everything is in it. Her visa, if she doesn't get this back, then she's gonna have to go back to her country. She won't be able to finish her school here. This is everything to us. And I mean, it's a small market. Yeah. But normally you don't cover purse thefts. Yeah. And so I said, okay, let me call in a favor. Yeah. And so I called up the 5 o'clock producer, who was the EP of the newscasts, mm-hmm. as well. And I said, Heidi, I need a favor. Can you squeeze in 45 seconds? I don't care if it's at the end. These people they just want to know that we tried to help. I said, just give me 45 seconds. And so I had a quick VO. So it aired at the 5 o'clock. Right at 6 o'clock, my phone started ringing. And I had a story that was going on there at 6. So afterwards, I had a voicemail. And it was him crying. Thank you. After your story aired, a separate store that they had not been in at all called and said, we have your information, and we saw the story.
Wow.
So that was the first time that it hit me of holy cow, people watch, and people take action, and we can really do a lot of good to help folks. Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole reason behind reporting and behind news in general is to give people information to help the community, to be a voice for people who cannot speak out. So going off of that idea, what kinds of challenges do you think that reporters and investigative reporters face today, like in this field?
One of the biggest challenges that we increasingly see is the access to information.
Okay, and what do you think, if any, like specific challenges that women face in just the field of journalism or investigative reporting specifically?
I don't necessarily know. I mean, a lot of your nightly anchors are still, like your white men.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where the discussion needs to be held.
Just last little question for you. What advice would you give to any up-and-coming freshmen? Because, trying to get through this whole journalism career or figuring out where we go, what little tidbits of advice would you have for us?
You are more powerful than you know. This is one of those jobs that you only get better by doing. You can learn a lot of stuff from the textbooks, and you can learn a lot of stuff from your professors.
Yeah.
Your professor's is going to watch you. What? But it takes just diligence and staying at it and having mentors review your work, and asking you those questions of where did you go, where has your bias come?
Mm-hmm.
Where's your bias coming out? Did you ask about this? Did you get this? Like, what about this? But it takes going through those motions and learning those lessons, and you're doing it. My one little, if I'm in a position to give any sort of advice, it's you're there. You have nothing stopping you, and the world is open for you.
Thank you so much for meeting with me today. I really appreciate it. Bam.